Fertile Canadian farmland for less than a city condo? In 2025, some provinces offer land deals so affordable, a farm, retreat, or investment plot is within reach without draining your savings. Where are these budget-friendly fields hiding? Here's the countdown of 12 provinces where farmland is dirt cheap, starting with the most wallet-friendly gems. 12. Newfoundland and Labrador. Coastal bargain with rugged charm, wind-swept cliffs, crashing Atlantic waves, and farmland so cheap it's practically a gift from the ocean. Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada's easternmost province, is a treasure for budget-conscious farmers. Farm Credit Canada's 2024 Farmland Values Report pegs average farmland here at $3,500 per acre, among the lowest nationwide. A 10-acre plot costs just $35,000, less than a used truck or a down payment on a Vancouver studio. Low demand keeps prices down, with a population of 540,000 and agriculture overshadowed by fishing and tourism. The cool, misty climate, summers at 16 degrees, winters at 5 degrees C, suits root crops like potatoes, carrots, and turnips, thriving in rocky but fertile soil. Fishing villages nearby serve fresh cod and lobster, a perk of coastal life. Property taxes at 0.8% mean a $35,000 plot costs $280 annually, cheaper than a monthly coffee run. No land transfer tax saves thousands up front compared to Ontario. Rural infrastructure can be sparse, with limited high-speed internet or road access, and the growing season, May to September, is short, favoring greenhouses or hardy crops. Still, the Farming Development Program offers grants covering 50% of startup costs like equipment or irrigation, up to $20,000. Communities with kitchen parties and storytelling traditions add cultural warmth. For a rugged, affordable farming life with ocean views and a slower pace, Newfoundland delivers. Just bring a warm jacket and a taste for adventure. 11. Prince Edward Island. Red soil haven with wallet-friendly fields. Red sand beaches, quaint lighthouses, and farmland so affordable it seems unreal. Prince Edward Island, Canada's smallest province, is a budget farmer's jackpot, with farmland averaging $4,200 per acre in 2024 per Farm Credit Canada. A 5-acre plot costs $21,000, about the price of a hot tub or a year's rent in Toronto. Known as the Gentle Island, PEI boasts rolling fields and a serene vibe. Its iron-rich soil produces 25% of Canada's potatoes, alongside barley, oats, and even grapes for crisp island wines. Farmland values rose just 1.7% in 2024, the lowest in Canada, keeping prices stable while Ontario's soar. A 10-acre farm at $42,000 comes with 1.4% property taxes, $588 yearly, cheaper than a car payment. Mild summers, 23 degrees, and winters, 7 degrees, support a May to October growing season. The 165,000 residents form a tight-knit community, with farmers markets buzzing and seafood shacks serving PEI's famous mussels. No land transfer tax saves 1 to 3% compared to British Columbia. Only 23% of PEI's land is agricultural, so prime plots near Charlottetown go fast. Large farms dominate, challenging small-scale starters. The new farmer program offers low-interest loans and mentorship, easing the leap. Historic villages, coastal trails, and Anne of Green Gables charm nearby make PEI a lifestyle win. For fields and weekend oyster feasts, this island's a budget-friendly haven. 10. New Brunswick. Forest-fringed deal with dirt-cheap fields. Sprawling forests, winding rivers, and farmland so affordable it's hard to believe. New Brunswick, a maritime gem, ranks among Canada's cheapest for agriculture, with farmland at $4,500 per acre in 2024, per Farm Credit Canada. A 10-acre plot costs $45,000, less than a city parking spot or university tuition. Low demand, driven by a 820,000 population and a smaller agricultural sector compared to Saskatchewan, keeps prices grounded. Farmland values grew 5.2% in 2024, modest enough to preserve deals. Loamy soil supports blueberries, a global leader, potatoes and maple syrup, with forests offering timber. Summers at 24 degrees and winters at 88 degrees yield a May to October growing season. Property taxes at 1.4% mean a $45,000 plot costs $630 yearly, less than a streaming binge. The cost of living is 30% lower than Ontario, stretching budgets for groceries and supplies. Bilingual English-French communities bring Acadian festivals and poutine stands to the countryside. Immigration programs fast-track residency for land investors, drawing newcomers. Specialty crop markets like potatoes are competitive, with big players grabbing prime land. Rural areas may lack high-speed internet, suiting off-grid farmers but requiring satellite for tech needs. The Agriculture Development Fund offers grants up to $30,000 for equipment or land upgrades. Towns like Fredericton and Moncton, plus hiking trails and Bay of Fundy views, blend affordability with soul-soothing scenery. For a tractor-driven life with maritime flair, New Brunswick's a budget-friendly score. 9. Nova Scotia. Coastal fields with prices that won't sink your budget. Foggy shores, lobster traps, and farmland so affordable it's practically waving you in. Nova Scotia, a maritime beauty, is a haven for budget farmers, with farmland averaging $5,000 per acre in 2024, according to Farm Credit Canada's Farmland Values Report. A 10-acre plot costs just $50,000, cheaper than a mid-range sedan or a year's rent in Vancouver. With a population of 1.02 million and agriculture focused on niche crops, demand stays low, keeping prices wallet-friendly. Farmland values grew a modest 4.8% in 2024, ensuring deals remain plentiful. The province's fertile Annapolis Valley produces apples, berries, and grapes for Nova Scotia's booming wine industry, with coastal soils supporting hay and pasture for livestock. Summers average 22 degrees Celsius, winters hit 6 degrees Celsius, offering a May to October growing season. Property taxes at 1.2% mean a $50,000 plot costs $600 yearly, less than a monthly phone bill. The cost of living is 25% lower than Ontario, stretching budgets for seeds, tools, and local lobster feasts. Halifax's vibrant markets and Peggy's Cove's iconic lighthouse are short drives away, blending rural life with coastal charm. No land transfer tax saves 1 to 1.5% upfront compared to provinces like Quebec. The catch? Prime farmland in the Annapolis Valley is competitive, with established orchards snapping up choice plots. Rural areas may lack high-speed internet, though government broadband investments are closing the gap. Nova Scotia's beginning. Farmer Incentive offers grants up to $25,000 for equipment or land improvements, easing startup costs. The province's Celtic music festivals and friendly communities add cultural spice. For affordable fields with ocean breezes and a laid-back vibe, Nova Scotia's a budget farmer's dream. 8. Manitoba. Prairie bargains. Where fields stretch to the horizon. Endless prairies, golden sunsets, and farmland so cheap it's a steal under the big sky. Manitoba, a prairie powerhouse, offers farmland at an average of $5,800 per acre in 2024, per Farm Credit Canada. A 20-acre plot costs $116,000, less than a tiny condo in Calgary. With 1.4 million residents and vast agricultural land, 11% of Canada's farmland, supply outpaces demand in less central areas, keeping prices low. Farmland values rose 5.5% in 2024, modest compared to Ontario's 11.5%. Manitoba's rich black soil grows canola, wheat, and soybeans, making it a grain farmer's paradise. Summers reach 25 degrees, Winters drop to +15 degrees, but a May to September growing season supports robust yields. Property taxes at 1.3% mean a $116,000 plot costs $1,508 yearly, cheaper than a monthly car lease. The cost of living is 35% lower than British Columbia, with affordable groceries and fuel. Winnipeg's urban perks and Lake Winnipeg's beaches are accessible, adding lifestyle appeal. Manitoba's First-Time Farmer program offers low-interest loans up to $500,000, and agricultural grants cover up to 30% of equipment costs. The province's diverse communities, with Ukrainian and Mennonite influences, bring festivals and hearty pierogi to rural life. The downside? Harsh winters require heated barns or crop storage, and remote areas lack infrastructure like paved roads. Large agribusinesses dominate prime land, so smaller farmers may need to scout secondary regions like the Interlake. Still, for wide-open fields and budget-friendly prices, Manitoba's a prairie jackpot. 7. Saskatchewan, the breadbasket with dirt-cheap acres. Golden wheat fields, endless skies, and farmland so affordable it's Canada's best-kept secret. Saskatchewan, the heart of Canada's breadbasket, boasts farmland at $6,200 per acre in 2024, according to Farm Credit Canada. A 20-acre plot costs $124,000, less than a starter home in most cities. With 1.2 million residents and 40% of Canada's arable land, supply keeps prices grounded despite global grain demand. Farmland values grew 7.2% in 2024, still affordable compared to Alberta's $7,500 per acre. The province's loamy soil produces half of Canada's wheat, plus canola, lentils, and barley, feeding markets worldwide. Summers hit 26 degrees. Winters plunge to 17 degrees, but a May to September growing season delivers bumper crops. Property taxes at 1.4% mean a $124,000 plot costs $1,736 yearly, less than a monthly rent in Toronto. The cost of living is 40% cheaper than Ontario, with low-cost utilities and farm supplies. Saskatoon's artsy vibe and Regina's urban buzz are within reach, blending rural life with city perks. No provincial sales tax saves 5–7% on equipment purchases compared to provinces like Quebec. The challenge? Prime land near major highways is pricier, and small farmers face competition from corporate farms. Remote areas lack high-speed internet, though provincial broadband programs are expanding. Saskatchewan's Young Farmer Incentive offers tax credits up to $10,000 and loans for land purchases. Communities with powwows and rodeos add cultural flair. For affordable acres and a chance to feed the world, Saskatchewan's a farmer's gold mine. 6. Quebec, riverfront fields with prices that won't break the bank. Rolling hills, St. Lawrence River views, and farmland so affordable it feels like a French-Canadian secret. Quebec, Canada's largest province by area, offers farmland at an average of $6,800 per acre in 2024, per Farm Credit Canada's Farmland Values Report. A 15-acre plot costs $102,000, less than a starter condo in Montreal. With 8.7 million residents and a diverse economy, agriculture in regions like Montérégie and Chaudière-Appalaches faces less pressure than in Ontario, keeping prices reasonable. Farmland values grew 7.8% in 2024, moderate compared to Alberta's 9.5%. Quebec's fertile soils produce dairy, maple syrup, and corn, with the province leading Canada in milk production. Summers average 24 degrees C, winters hit 10 degrees C, supporting a May to September growing season. Property taxes at 1.5% mean a $102,000 plot costs $1,530 yearly, cheaper than a monthly Toronto rent. The cost of living is 20% lower than British Columbia, with affordable farm supplies and local markets brimming with poutine and artisanal cheeses. Quebec City's historic charm and Montreal's urban buzz are within reach, blending rural life with cultural flair. The province's 1% land transfer tax is lower than Ontario's 2.5%, saving thousands up front. The challenge? Prime dairy farmland requires quotas, which can cost $40,000 per cow, a hurdle for new farmers. Rural areas may lack high-speed internet, though government programs are expanding connectivity. Quebec's Financière Agricole offers loans up to $750,000 for young farmers and grants covering 30% of equipment costs. French-speaking communities add a European vibe, with festivals like Carnaval de Québec livening up winters. For affordable fields with riverfront views and a touch of joie de vivre, Quebec's a budget farmer's delight. 5. Alberta. Prairie powerhouse with farmland deals. Galore vast plains, mountain horizons, and farmland so cheap it's a cowboy's dream. Alberta, Canada's oil and cattle hub, boasts farmland at $7,500 per acre in 2024, according to Farm Credit Canada. A 20-acre plot costs $150,000, less than a suburban home in Calgary. With 4.5 million residents and 21% of Canada's farmland, supply in northern and eastern regions keeps prices accessible. Farmland values grew 9.5% in 2024, but secondary areas remain affordable compared to British Columbia's $13,900 per acre. Alberta's loamy soils produce beef, canola, and barley, with the province leading Canada in cattle ranching. Summers reach 25 degrees Celsius. Winters drop to 15 degrees Celsius, but a May to September growing season yields strong crops. Property taxes at 1.2% mean a $150,000 plot costs $1,800 yearly, less than a monthly Vancouver rent. No provincial sales tax saves 5% on equipment compared to provinces like Saskatchewan. The cost of living is 25% lower than Ontario, with cheap fuel and groceries. Edmonton's urban perks and Banff's stunning trails are accessible, adding lifestyle appeal. Alberta's Agriculture Financial Services Corporation offers loans up to $2 million for new farmers and grants for irrigation upgrades. Diverse communities with Indigenous and Ukrainian influences bring powwows and pierogi festivals to rural life. The downside? Prime land near Calgary or Edmonton is pricier, and water access can be limited in drier regions, requiring irrigation investment. Remote areas lack infrastructure, but broadband expansion is underway. For wide-open fields and budget-friendly ranching, Alberta's a prairie gem. 4. Ontario. Hidden rural deals in Canada's economic heart. Lush fields, Great Lakes breezes, and farmland deals hiding in plain sight. Ontario, Canada's most populous province, averages $17,962 per acre for farmland in 2024, per Farm Credit Canada. But northern and eastern regions like Temiskaming and Lanark offer plots as low as $8,500 per acre. A 15-acre plot in these areas costs $127,500. Less than a Toronto parking spot. With 15 million residents and intense demand in southern Ontario, northern areas see less pressure, keeping prices affordable. Farmland values grew 11.5% in 2024, but secondary regions remain budget-friendly. Ontario's soils produce corn, soybeans, and apples, with the province leading in greenhouse vegetables. Summers average 26 degrees Celsius. Winters hit 8 degrees Celsius, offering a May to October growing season. Property taxes at 1.6% mean a $127,500 plot costs $2,040 yearly, still cheaper than a monthly condo fee. The cost of living in rural areas is 30% lower than Toronto, with local markets offering fresh peaches and maple syrup. Ottawa's urban vibe and Algonquin Park's trails are nearby, blending rural life with city access. Ontario's 2.5% land transfer tax is higher than Quebec's, but northern plots offset costs. The challenge? Prime southern land is exorbitant, and small farmers face competition from agribusinesses. Rural infrastructure varies, with some areas needing satellite internet. Ontario's new entrant farm program offers loans up to $500,000 and mentorship for beginners. Diverse communities with Mennonite and Indigenous roots add cultural depth with fairs and powwows. For affordable fields in Canada's heartland, Ontario's northern gems are a budget farmer's score. 3. British Columbia. Hidden farmland, steals beyond the mountains. Towering peaks, lush valleys, and farmland deals tucked away from pricey cities. British Columbia, known for sky-high real estate, hides affordable farmland in its northern and interior regions, averaging $13,900 per acre in 2024, per Farm Credit Canada's Farmland Values Report. Areas like the Peace River or Bulkley-Nechako offer plots as low as $9,000 per acre, so a 15-acre parcel costs $135,000, less than a Vancouver parking spot. With 5.3 million residents and intense demand near urban centers like Vancouver, northern BC sees less pressure, keeping prices accessible. Farmland values grew 8.2% in 2024, but remote regions remain budget-friendly compared to Ontario's $17,162 per acre. BC's diverse soils support cattle, berries, and vineyards, with the Okanagan Valley producing world-class wines. Summers average 24 degrees, winters hit 5 degrees Celsius in northern areas, offering a May to October growing season. Property taxes at 1.3% mean a $135,000 plot costs $1,755 yearly, cheaper than a monthly condo fee in Victoria. The cost of living in rural BC is 25% lower than Vancouver, with local markets offering fresh salmon and artisanal cheeses. Prince George's urban amenities and Caribou's hiking trails add lifestyle perks. BC's 2% land transfer tax is lower than Ontario's 2.5%, but higher than Quebec's 1%. The catch? Prime farmland near Kelowna or Kamloops is pricier, and water access in drier regions requires irrigation investment. Rural infrastructure varies, with some areas needing satellite internet. BC's Beginning Farmer Fund provides loans up to $500,000 and grants covering 40% of startup costs. Diverse communities, with Indigenous and South Asian influences, bring powwows and curry festivals to rural life. For affordable fields with mountain views, BC's northern gems are a budget farmer's delight. 2. Yukon. Arctic bargains with wide-open fields. Frosty vistas, northern lights, and farmland so cheap it's a frontier steal. Yukon, a sparsely populated territory, offers farmland at an estimated $10,000 per acre in 2024, based on regional agricultural data and Farm Credit Canada insights for northern regions. A 10-acre plot costs $100,000, less than a suburban home in Whitehorse. With only 45,000 residents and minimal agricultural activity, less than 1% of land is farmed, demand is low, keeping prices grounded. Farmland values are stable, with negligible growth due to limited market activity. Yukon's short growing season, June to August, and cold climate, summers at 20 degrees, winters at 20 degrees, suit hay, potatoes, and cold hardy berries, with greenhouses extending yields. Property taxes at 1.0% mean a $100,000 plot costs $1,000 yearly, cheaper than a monthly Toronto rent. The cost of living is 15% higher than Ontario due to remote logistics, but local game like moose and fish offsets grocery costs. Whitehorse's small-town vibe and Dawson City's gold rush history add cultural charm. No land transfer tax saves 1 to 3% compared to provinces like British Columbia. The challenge? Harsh winters and permafrost limit arable land, requiring heated barns or specialized crops. Infrastructure is minimal, with spotty internet and gravel roads. Yukon's agriculture branch offers grants up to $50,000 for equipment and land clearing, plus free land use permits for new farmers. Indigenous communities and Klondike festivals bring storytelling and dog sledding to rural life. For rugged, affordable fields under the aurora, Yukon's a frontier farmer's dream. 1. Northwest Territories. The ultimate bargain in Canada's far north frozen rivers, endless tundra, and farmland so affordable it's Canada's best-kept secret. Northwest Territories, the northernmost entry, offers farmland at an estimated $8,500 per acre in 2024, based on territorial agricultural data and Farm Credit Canada's northern benchmarks. A 10-acre plot near Hay River or Fort Simpson costs $85,000, less than a used RV or a year's rent in Calgary. With just 42,000 residents and less than 0.5% of land used for agriculture, demand is nearly non-existent, making this Canada's cheapest farmland. Farmland values are flat, with no significant growth due to minimal market activity. The territory's short growing season, June to August, and cold climate, summers at 18 degrees, winters at 25 degrees, support hay, root crops, and greenhouse vegetables. Property taxes at 0.9% mean an $85,000 plot costs $765 yearly, less than a monthly phone bill. The cost of living is 20% higher than Ontario due to remote supply chains, but hunting and fishing provide local food. Yellowknife's urban perks and Great Slave Lake's fishing add lifestyle appeal. No land transfer tax saves thousands compared to Ontario's 2.5%. The downside? Extreme winters and permafrost restrict farming to select areas, requiring costly greenhouses or soil management. Infrastructure is basic, with limited roads and internet. The NWT's agriculture strategy offers grants up to $75,000 for equipment and land development, plus free land leases for 5 years. Indigenous Dene and Métis communities bring drum dances and caribou feasts to rural life. For the ultimate affordable farmland under starlit skies, Northwest Territories is Canada's top budget pick. So there you have it, 12 provinces and territories where farmland is dirt cheap in 2025. From Newfoundland's coastal plots to the Northwest Territories' Arctic steels, Canada's got a deal for every farmer, rancher, or dreamer. Which province is calling your name? Drop a comment below and let's talk about your farming future.